You've just settled into your seat, bag stowed, boarding complete. Then suddenly, a flight attendant moves you. No reason, no apology, just reassigned. Turns out, even after check-in, airlines can, and often do, shuffle seats last minute behind the scenes. Today, we reveal the hidden tricks and traps of flying in 2025, starting with how to protect your seat. Secret 1. How seat selection really works, and why it's never guaranteed. You picked your seat weeks ago. Window for the view, aisle for easy access, maybe even paid extra for more legroom. You double-checked it at check-in and assumed you were set. But here's the catch. Your seat isn't officially yours until the cabin door closes. Even after boarding passes are printed, airlines can, and often do, reshuffle passengers. Whether it's accommodating elite flyers, aircraft swaps, or seat reconfigurations, airlines use dynamic systems that adjust seating in real time. Even paid seats come with fine print saying nothing is guaranteed. Take Mia, who even paid $40 for an extra legroom aisle seat, yet she was moved to a cramped middle seat in the back row. No explanation, no refund. There isn't much you can do to avoid this, but taking a screenshot of your seat assignment after check-in might help. If your seat is changed without reason, politely ask the gate agent if they can reseat you or offer compensation. The system isn't always fair. But here's the twist. Sometimes you can beat them at their own game before takeoff. Secret 2. The 24-hour flight cancellation loophole. You finally lock in a decent fare, click Book Now, and feel that sweet wave of relief. But a few hours later, you check again. Same flight, same airline, now $120 cheaper. Most travelers assume once they book, it's final. But US law actually gives you a 24-hour window to cancel any flight booked at least 7 days in advance, for a full refund, no questions asked. This applies to both domestic and international routes touching US soil. It's a quiet safety net that can save money or give you time to rethink your plans. Jason booked a $380 ticket to New York, then found the same flight hours later for $260. Thanks to the rule, he canceled, rebooked, and kept the $120 difference without penalty. Always recheck prices after booking. If a better fare pops up, you can cancel and rebook. Just make sure your departure is more than a week away. And if you think that refund trick is powerful, wait until you learn how getting kicked off your flight could be the best thing that happens to you. Secret 3. Getting bumped can actually be a win, if you play it right. You're standing at the gate, flight boarding soon, when your name echoes through the terminal. Without warning, you've been bumped off your flight. While most passengers panic, savvy travelers see opportunity. Volunteering to give up your seat can lead to unexpected perks, sometimes better than what you had planned. Airlines overbook flights on purpose, banking on no-shows. But when everyone arrives, they need to free up seats fast. That's when they ask for volunteers. And as desperation rises, so do the incentives, credits, upgrades, overnight stays, and more. The key is timing and knowing how to ask. Amanda, a college student, volunteered to be bumped before spring break. She walked away with a $600 travel credit, a hotel room, a dinner voucher, and a first-class seat the next morning. Not bad for missing one flight. Don't rush to board. Watch for signs of overbooking. If the offers start rolling, step up, calmly, strategically, and see what you can walk away with. But the real magic happens once you're in the air, if you know who to ask and what to ask for. Secret 4. Flight attendants' insider tips. Passengers never hear. Flight attendants aren't just snack distributors or seatbelt enforcers. They're trained professionals with thousands of hours in the air and a toolkit of quiet tricks most travelers never hear about. From seat upgrades to early gate info and extra amenities, they often hold the keys to a better flight. But here's the catch. Those little favors usually go to people who treat them with basic respect. Alex, a frequent flyer, always greets the crew and asks how their day is going. On one flight, he was quietly moved to an exit row. More legroom, no extra charge. On another occasion, a flight attendant tipped him off about a gate change before it was announced, letting him rebook early and skip the chaos. Be kind to your crew. They remember. And sometimes, that memory turns into an upgrade. Secret 5. Things you can ask for during your flight that airlines don't advertise. Most travelers accept what's handed to them, a drink, a snack, maybe a napkin. But behind the scenes, airlines stock more perks than they ever announce. From comfort items to small medical supplies, many flights carry extras like eye masks, earplugs, wipes, cold compresses, or even playing cards and kids' activity kits. These aren't listed anywhere, but they're often available if you ask politely and at the right time. Take Sarah on a long-haul flight from LAX to Tokyo. Midway through, she started feeling queasy. Instead of toughing it out, she quietly asked the crew for help. Minutes later, she had ginger ale, a cold pack, and even got moved to a row with empty seats. No magic words, just good timing and basic kindness. Crew members appreciate passengers who respect their workload and communicate clearly. Extra snacks, comfort items, and quiet perks. Economy never felt so good. But if you're really looking to save money on your flight, the smartest move actually happens before you ever book. Secret 6. The best time to book and fly for cheaper tickets. We've all stared at flights hoping for a price drop, only to wake up and find them $100 more expensive. But flight prices aren't random. They're driven by algorithms, demand, and timing patterns. And unless you know the system, you're likely overpaying. The sweet spot for domestic flights is around 21 to 60 days before departure, while for international flights, try 2 to 6 months in advance. Midweek departures, especially Tuesdays and Wednesdays, tend to be cheaper, and early morning or late night flights can knock prices down further. Many think midnight is the golden hour for deals, but that's outdated. Instead, book on a Tuesday or Sunday and use tools like Google Flights or Hopper to track prices over time. Jasmine, a frequent Miami-Chicago flyer, saved hundreds by shifting her habits, booking midweek and setting price alerts. Mastering the booking game means big savings before you even step foot in the airport. But once you're airborne, another mystery kicks in. Why does it always feel like you're freezing up there, even with a blanket? Secret 7. Cabin temperature is set for safety, not comfort. You're halfway through your flight, curled up under a paper-thin blanket, shivering despite wearing 2 layers. So, why is it always so cold on airplanes? It's not about saving money or punishing passengers. It's actually a safety precaution. Research shows that at high altitudes, people are more prone to dizziness, nausea, and even fainting due to reduced oxygen levels and cabin pressure. Cooler air helps prevent these symptoms by keeping your blood circulating more efficiently. In fact, studies have found that warm cabins increase the risk of syncope, a fancy word for passing out mid-flight. A travel-savvy passenger once shared her tip. She never boards without a hoodie, warm socks, and a scarf that doubles as a blanket. Pro move. So next time you're shivering mid-flight, just remember, it's not personal, it's protocol. But while your body's adjusting to the cold, here's something your brain might not expect. That plane slicing through the sky? It's not flying straight. In fact, it's probably drifting way off course, on purpose. Secret 8. Most flights are off course, on purpose. Look at a flight map and you'd think planes travel in straight lines from point A to point B. In reality, that aircraft is likely veering into unexpected airspace. Planes rarely fly perfectly straight. Instead, they follow great circle routes, the shortest distance between 2 points on a sphere. These appear curved on a flat map, but they're more efficient. And that's just the start. Jet streams, turbulence, restricted airspace, and air traffic all influence your pilot's path. Planes may detour hundreds of miles to catch tailwinds or avoid storms. One pilot recalled a Boston to London flight that looked like it should have gone straight across the Atlantic. Instead, they curved toward Greenland, riding a fast jet stream, and landed nearly 30 minutes early. So while your GPS-trained brain might whisper wrong direction, trust the cockpit. They're flying smarter, not straighter. And speaking of things that feel off mid-flight, ever wonder why the cabin suddenly goes dim during takeoff and landing? Spoiler, it's not for ambiance. Secret 9. Why planes really dim the cabin lights at night. You've probably assumed the dimmed cabin lights are just to help you sleep or set the mood for a red-eye. But the real reason is way more serious and practical. Cabin lights are lowered during takeoff and landing so your eyes can adjust to low light in case of an emergency. Think about it. If something goes wrong and the plane needs to be evacuated quickly, you'll need to see clearly in the dark. Your pupils take time to adapt to sudden changes in light, so by dimming the cabin, airlines give your vision a head start. It's a simple safety measure hidden in plain sight, one you probably never questioned until now. And while we're at it, if you're hyper-aware of safety, here's one you won't believe. Your luggage might know more about its location than the airline does. Secret 10. You can track your luggage, even without the airline app. Lost luggage is one of the most frustrating travel experiences, but what if you could beat the system entirely? These days, passengers aren't just relying on the airline's tracking system, they're bringing their own. More and more travelers are slipping AirTags, tile trackers, or Bluetooth devices into their checked bags. These tiny gadgets sync with your phone and show your luggage's location in real time, even when the airline swears they have no clue where it is. In fact, there have been cases where passengers found their own bags faster than the baggage office. One woman landed in Paris and was told her suitcase was lost. Her AirTag said otherwise. It was still sitting at JFK unmoved. She showed the staff the map, and they rerouted it before it even left the terminal. So if you hate standing at the carousel wondering where your stuff went, invest in a tracker. It gives you power the airline won't. But while you're busy tracking your bag, here's something you should really keep an eye on: the tray table in front of you. What's living on it might shock you. Secret 11. Tray tables are among the dirtiest surfaces on the plane. You'd think the bathroom would top the list of dirtiest spots on a plane. But nope, it's your tray table. That little fold-down surface where you rest your snacks, elbows, and maybe even your face. Studies have found tray tables often have more germs than the toilet flush button. Why? Because while bathrooms get cleaned frequently, tray tables don't. Between quick turnarounds and tight schedules, crews rarely have time to wipe them down properly. If you're eating directly off that plastic rectangle, maybe reconsider. Use a napkin barrier, bring sanitizing wipes, or better yet, avoid it altogether for anything edible. One flight attendant even confessed she never eats from the tray without wiping it down first. So if that tray table has you cringing, just wait, because the food you're about to eat off it, it's scientifically designed to taste disappointingly bland. Secret 12. Airline food tastes worse for a scientific reason. You're 35,000 feet in the air, stomach rumbling, and the meal cart finally reaches your row, and somehow the pasta tastes like cardboard. But it's not the airline's fault, it's science. At cruising altitude, dry cabin air and low pressure dull your sense of taste by up to 30%. Your nose dries out, your taste buds go numb, and flavors fall flat. So next time your dinner disappoints, blame physics, not the pasta. But while your taste buds are struggling, someone else a row over might be unpacking something far more surprising than a tray of lasagna. Because some passengers board with items so unexpected, you'd think the TSA was running a prank show. But believe it or not, they're 100% allowed. Secret 13. Weird but totally legal. Carry-on items. Airlines can't stop you from bringing. Live fish. Yes, you heard that right. According to TSA's own guidelines, you can bring a live fish in a clear, spill-proof container filled with water. It has to be visible, sealed, and small enough to carry, but otherwise, that goldfish is cleared for takeoff. It's easily one of the most bizarre, yet totally legal carry-on items allowed on board. Pies and cakes. It might sound like a security red flag, but full-sized pies and cakes are completely allowed in your carry-on. As long as they're considered solid food, they pass through screening without issue. TSA doesn't care if it's pumpkin, pecan, or three-tier chocolate. Just make sure it's packed well. Nothing ruins a boarding line like frosting on your passport. Small snow globes. Snow globes are usually assumed to be banned because of the liquid inside. But TSA makes an exception for the tiny ones. If they contain less than 100 ml of liquid and fit inside your quart-size liquid bag, they're good to go. That Eiffel Tower trapped in glitter? Perfectly fine, as long as you're not shaking it at the checkpoint. Seashells, sand, and small rocks. Planning to bring back a little piece of the beach? You can. TSA doesn't restrict natural souvenirs like sand, pebbles, or seashells. Just avoid anything oversized or messy. And if you're traveling internationally, check the customs rules before you pack. What's legal at security might still be a no-go at immigration. So there you have it. Seat shuffles that aren't accidents, refund windows most people miss, and a handful of weird carry-on items you probably never thought were allowed. Flying doesn't have to be stressful, unpredictable, or overpriced. Not when you know how the system really works. Airline rules are always changing, and the fine print isn't getting any friendlier. But staying informed, knowing your rights, and asking the right questions can turn even the most frustrating travel day into something smooth. If this video helped you feel a little more flight ready, give it a thumbs up, share it with a fellow traveler, and subscribe for more smart travel tips. Because the more you know before takeoff, the better your trip will be once you land. Safe travels, and see you in the next one.